if you layer it, it might get funky, and when you remove it, it might feel funky. Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a video for y'all today on this collection right here. So this is the Wet n Wild Goth-O-Graphic collection, spring with a holographic edge. Super pretty box. This is what it looks like all around, very holographic-y and pretty. Really like the whole theme of this collection. I think it's fun, I think it's edgy and creative and just a good time. So we're gonna run through the different products in here. Let me just go ahead and show you what the actual box looks like so you can see what they all look like in their little homes. So here they are in their homes. So we're gonna run through the different goodies in here. I'm gonna show you some swatches, just let you know my experience working with these products and just kind of what I think about them. So let's run through the collection and chat about it. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is gonna sound a little negative, but I wanna go ahead and start with these because I'm just not super duper thrilled with these. These are the Wet n Wild Megalast Liquid Catsuit Metallic Lipsticks. Really like the packaging on these. They've got the little, holographic skull graphic on them, so they're really pretty to look at, pretty packaging. Even this is holographic. And normally I don't mind these, the liquid catsuits. They are more of your traditional liquid lipsticks. They're not very hydrating, but I mean, they're just a traditional liquid lipstick. So if you're fine with that, then, you'd probably be fine with them. But what I notice about these four in particular is that they are so sheer and they just don't build on themselves really well. They kind of when you try to add another layer, it sort of picks up the product. So they're just kind of like a sheer wash of color. So there is that first one. What is this called? This is Wicked Pink. So there it is on my lips. This one's my favorite of the four. Obviously this is the most neutral color of the four, but it's still just not overly pigmented and just kind of okay. And then there's this one. Yikes. This one is Pastel Grunge. And I'm all for a creative, interesting lip color, but this one is just really hard to use because it is, again, not very pigmented. And when you try to build it up, it just kind of gets patchy and doesn't really layer on itself. It's almost like, maybe I just got a bad batch. It's almost like they're too dry. Like they're starting to dry out and there's just not enough creaminess to kind of hold them together. So there's that one. You can see it's just kind of it's darker right here and then just kind of patchy around the sides. So not a fan of that one. This one seems slightly more workable. This one is Gunmetal Heart. Love the name, that's a fun name. This is kind of like a silvery gunmetal, almost purpley gray color, but then it's got some shimmer behind it. So it's kind of like pinky coppery shimmer to it. I could see this working layering it over something. I think that would work. By itself, it is still workable. It seems to be working better than the other ones. I wouldn't probably wear this color by itself, but you never know. But layered over something, I think it would probably be fun. And this last one does not look impressive in a swatch, but it is workable on the lips. This one is Death to Unicorns. And it's like a purpley blue, dark gray, light black kind of a color. And it's got some kind of duochrome dimension to it. It's fun. Of course, using this kind of a really dark color in a liquid lipstick, like a more traditional liquid lipstick that's kind of on the not super hydrating side, is that it just majorly does that line of there, not there. So, I mean, it is something fun and different, but I would not pick this kind of a formula for this color. If I was gonna wear this kind of a color, I would go with just kind of like a traditional matte lipstick that I could blot and really make sure it's gonna stay. But I mean, it is kind of fun and different. I like the color of it, just not in this particular formula. Now let's talk about the liquid shadows in the collection. So there are 4 different shades in the collection. So kind of like a dark purpley shade, kind of a duochrome lavender pinky shade, a lighter pink shade, and then kind of a champagne sort of shade. So let's run through the different ones. Let's start with the one that's kind of a complete fail, at least in my experience of using it. This one is the deepest shade. This is Nyctophilia. And the problem with this is that it is just so patchy. It's so patchy, and a swatch. And then I even tried to use a little bit of this like in the outer corners of my eyes just to see if I could make it work on the eyes. And it's the same experience on the eyes. It just kind of clumps together, like it's like the glittery particles kind of clump together, and there's just not a lot of base color to it to work. And it's not even really like the glitter kind of holds together that you could use it as a topper. So I don't know what happened to the formula on this one, but just not a fan of that one at all. It just did not work. Next is this one. This is a purpley fun color. I do have this all over my lids, but then I put something else over it. This is Goth Tears. I think this one is so pretty and fun. The only thing I would change about it is I do wish it had kind of more of like a base color to it, because when I put it on my lids, it's almost like it was there and it was pigmented in that it was there, so when I would move, I would see the flashing, but because there's not a lot of base color to it, you know, when you turn it that direction, you don't see a lot, but then when you turn it this direction, it looks really pretty. So I mean, it's just a super duochrome color with not a lot of like base color to it. But I still do like it because it's duochrome and interesting and fun. Next up is this pinky shade. This is Mystic Dreamer. And both of these right here, and I'm gonna get to this one in a second, these are just more sheer. And I really, really love these liquid Catsuit in the regular line, like the super glittery ones. They're really pretty and intensely glittery. These are more on the sheer side. So it's like they're glittery and duochrome, but just the more sheer side of that. I did layer this one and it did seem to build on itself. Like I put some on, let that dry, and then layered it. It did seem to build on itself and have more intensity that way. When you kind of build glitter on top of itself like that, you're risking more fallout. So I'm kind of risking more fallout by doing that, but I was glad to see that it did layer on itself. So you can kind of build up the color, but it's never gonna be that super duper intense metallic glittery finish. It's gonna be kind of the more toppery version of a liquid glittery shadow, if that makes sense. And then the last color is Pure Intention. Pure Intention. So there is that one right there. And this one, again, it's so pretty. Like, these are so pretty in the containers, and they look like they're gonna be super intensely pigmented, and they are when you turn your hand or your eye the right direction. I mean, they do have that like flashing to them, which is so pretty. You're just gonna have to build them up and know that you might get a little bit more fallout by doing that. So I do like these three, but I would like them even more if they had just a little bit more intensity to them. It's like they're moving in the right direction, and I like them for what they are and that they're duochrome and glittery and fun, but I just wish they had a little bit more base color underneath them, or just a little bit more pop, because I feel like my eye look isn't super duper intense looking. It's kind of more of a subtle duochrome shimmery look. Then there are some eyeliners in this collection. These are the Wet n Wild Megaliner Metallic Liquid Eyeliners. And there are 3 different shades. There is a white color, which is Skull Prayer, a pinky color, which is Pink Coffin, and then a kind of purpley color, which is Black Butterfly. So let's run through the different shades. So there is the white. It's kind of a metallic-y, silvery white. Really pretty. I have just a little bit of this on kind of the inner part of my lower lash line. It's pretty. I like this one a lot. It's pigmented, it builds on itself well, really beautiful, icy sort of a white. The pinky one, Pink Coffin, is really pretty too. It's kind of just a mid-tone metallic-y pink color, just like a shimmery metallic-y pink. Really pretty, kind of an 80s sort of a vibe to it, really like it. And then this one is Black Butterfly. This one's kind of like a duochrome, pinky purpley dimensional color. So I put this one on my lash line, my upper lash line yesterday, and it kind of burned a little bit. I'm not sure if it's actually the eyeliner though. I don't know if it was because I put it over like some glitter that I was already wearing and it kind of scratched my eye. Kind of wonder about that. So it might have been that. But I was afraid to put it on my upper lash line again today. So I put these 2 colors on my lower lash line. So I have the pink on my lower lash line and just a little bit of the white as well. And I'm not noticing that today. I didn't notice any kind of like a burning or anything like that. But what I did notice is when I removed this one last night, it felt like it came off in clumps and very waxy. So I think that these have that kind of waxy sort of formula. So I would be careful about layering these a lot because I think they're gonna flake if you layer them a lot, because they seem to just kind of have that thicker, kind of waxier is how I would describe it, sort of formula to them. But when I'm doing this, they're really not moving around or anything. I just noticed that when I removed it, it was like, oh, this is kind of weird. This is a little bit funky. So just know, if you layer it, it might get funky, and when you remove it, it might feel funky. Then there are 4 different highlighters in this collection, so let's start with this one. This is the Wet n Wild Megaglo Highlighting Stick, and this is in the color Hello Darkness, Hell-O, Hello Darkness. So this one, again, has that, you know, skull graphic on it. I really didn't describe the packaging on the other products, but this one has a little skull on it, and then these have the same sort of topper as the glosses. I love the packaging on this collection. I think it's just fun and edgy and just, you know, rockery, and but still duochromy and fun. So let me swatch this for you. So this is interesting. I really like the color of this. My hand's a little red from removing those other swatches, but I really like the color of this. It's that duochromy, purpley pink, but again, it has that sheer base to it. So I would definitely layer this with something. I do have this on today, but it is completely covered up by other things, so it would, I mean, it's pretty much pointless for me to even show you because you really can't see this at all, but it's on my cheeks somewhere. It's just that kind of sheer base to it. So I would layer this with something. I've mentioned this before though, stick kind of highlighters and, you know, stick products in general just are not my favorite. So I'm probably not the best one to kind of give a recommendation on this because I just don't prefer this kind of a product. It's not bad. It does blend onto the skin just fine. It is a pretty color, but it does have that kind of sheer base to it. So I would definitely wear it layered with other things. There are a couple of these types of highlighters in this collection. These are the Megaglo highlighting powders. So the lighter shade is White Raven and the deeper shade is Purple Ashes. Pretty names to them. So these have a really pretty design in them. Hopefully you can see it. It's kind of a skull, sort of an impression in them. So again, edgy and fun. So I have these swatched right here. So this is the lighter shade. This one is White Raven. And then the deeper shade up here is Purple Ashes. So I do have these on my cheeks today. I have this one right here, kind of as a blush topper right in here. Hopefully you can see that. And then I have this one on the inner corners of my eyes. I think these are really pretty. These are the type of product that you kind of have to get past that initial layer. They're not pigmented with that first layer, but they're way more pigmented when you get down into the product a little bit. And they do have to be layered a little bit on top of each other, but they build really nicely and they do layer nicely, so you can get more pigmentation to them, but they are that kind of like duochromy, interesting sort of a highlighter, especially this one. I feel like that one is so unique and fun. Really like that one. When I was first swatching this, I thought, I don't know how I'm gonna make that work for my skin tone, but I just put it over my blush and like mixed with the next thing I'm about to mention to you, this right in here I think is so fun and creative. Like it looks interesting, like kind of funky and different and out there. So I really, really like this one, but I also like this shade too. And lastly, I think my favorite product in the whole collection is this right here. So it's a loose highlighting powder. I think I removed the name, so I'll list the name for you if I can find it. This is the Megaglo Loose Highlighting Powder. So this is the little graphic on the front, and then you open it up, and even the little like, you know, covering thing is in the shape of a little skull. So I think that's just a fun detail. So what I did is just kind of like poke holes into a few of the holes so I could just get a little bit of product out because I wanted to keep the shape. I think it's just kind of fun. And I have this swatch right here. Oh my goodness. Do you see this prettiness? This is so pretty. Oh my goodness. It just like catches the light. It's gorgeous. It's maybe not the most unique thing in the collection. I have it on my, like the high points of my cheekbones. So it's probably not the most like unique product in the collection, but I think it's the nicest quality and I think it's the prettiest. Like it's a gorgeous champagne-y yellow duochrome highlight, but it's not like as dimensional as some of the other products, but it's still really beautiful. I think I say that because it has that more champagne golden sort of a base to it. So that's just more of a traditional highlight, but it's got that kind of shimmery, super metallic look to it. As I'm looking at it, it's honestly less shimmery, more metallic, but just super metallic. Really fun, and it's got that high shine, that high duochrome finish to it. It's beautiful. Wears well, it's gorgeous. Love it. Highly recommend it. Alrighty, so those are all the products in the collection. So a quick little wrap up of what I enjoy from the collection. I do like these shadows. I think they take a little bit of working with and tweaking, but I do still think they're fun and creative. I do like the eyeliners, specifically these two colors. I think they're just kind of duochrome and fun. Love the highlighters though. These are definitely the standouts from this collection. What I would highly recommend. Definitely this light color is really pretty. Love this super creative pinky color and just can't stop with this one because it's so beautiful. Best thing in the collection in my opinion. I love it. All right guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was. Let me know down below if you've tried anything from this collection. What do you think about it? I love hearing your thoughts and opinions. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.